Welcome to the Beers and Bodyslams podcast. Sitting next to me is the lime in my Ricky, good old JB.
Sitting across from me is the powdered sugar of my Monte Cristo, Mr. Fluffy.
You had to go with the fat guy sandwich, didn't you?
Because I want one so bad right now.
Oh my God.
Damn diet's killing me.
Oh, battered and covered.
Oh my God.
Man.
Fried. Goodness.
Oh God, we're gonna have a fat guy show. I can already tell. Crap in hell. Oh, all right. Well, welcome to the Beers and Bodies podcast. As you can once again hear, good old Irish is off, but we're gonna have a fun show this week. We're gonna talk about some predictions for the year to come that we know are gonna go wrong. We got an awesome beer from our friends once again at Goose Island. Thank you, Brian.
Yes, sir.
And we'll get into all that and so much more, probably fat guy food talk, when we get right back.
Awesome!
This is the Beers and Bodyslams podcast
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
with your host, Mr. Fluffy,
Hello, ladies.
good old JB,
Booty-O's! They make sure you ain't booty.
and the Irish O'Leary.
There's only one word to describe you, and I'm gonna spell it out for you. A-A-W-S-T!
This is the only podcast bringing you craft beer and pro wrestling that really matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, E-Generation X proudly brings to you its WWF Tag Team Champion of the World, the Road Dogg Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the new.
And that's the bottom line, the Stone Cold said so.
All right, so I'll start off with Goose Island once again has supplied the beer. Thank you so much to Brian from Goose Island. This is their Goose Summertime. It's the Kolsch, I think is how you pronounce it. It's a very light, fruity beer. It's definitely a summer beer.
It's very tasty.
It's very
with
tasty.
the delightful item that you let me try off.
Yeah, I let him try a little spicy mango from Trader Joe's, and it's
Oh
really
my
good.
God. Dried mango with a chili spice.
Oh, it's
the
so
greatest thing ever with this beer.
It's so good. But thank you so much, Brian, for allowing us to drink your beer again. We appreciate it and leaving this little surprise afterwards. It's a good summer beer. Like, this is the kind of beer I could see sitting here in Florida when it's like, 9,000 degrees outside.
Kind of like now.
Yeah, and I'm working in the garage or something and cracking one of these open and really enjoying it.
Yes.
So,
It's very tasty,
very
summery beer.
Tasty. So today's show, we're going to have fun with it. Where JB and I are going to talk about predictions that we know are going to go wrong. With WrestleMania just happening last weekend, this is basically the start of the new season for WWE.
Yes.
We had some call-ups on Monday's Raw and SmackDown on Tuesday. We're supposed to going to have a Superstar Shuffle. That will be tonight. The show coming out on Monday, so it'll be tonight. We'll see what happens.
Yes.
So we're going to kind of talk about the shuffle a little bit, who we think might move, and then we're just going to kind of make some wild predictions of what we want to see, who we want to see with belts, and who we see feuding in the future.
Should be interesting.
So for the shake-up, I can already see two, I think, that are super obvious. And I'm going to do sort of a swap out. I think we're going to see AJ Styles go to Raw and Sami Zayn going to SmackDown. I think that's a natural switch, just with everything that happened. And I think it's a good switch.
I think Sammy's definitely going. I'm not sure after what AJ said Tuesday night that he's necessarily going now, especially with John Cena going away. I think they need that top billing on SmackDown.
Could be.
They're kind of missing the main event type guys over there. So in a way, that kind of changed my mind about him.
Could be.
I could see The Miz going over to Raw in place of AJ right now. And then I still think they're going to do a draft at some point.
Yeah.
But like my top two choices will be Sami to SmackDown and The Miz to Raw.
I could see that too. I could definitely see The Miz on Raw. Some people I don't want to see moved, only because I think they're integral right now to their spots, are definitely, I don't want to see KO or Joe move.
They won't, no.
I really like them there. I don't want Bray Wyatt to leave SmackDown.
They'd get lost in the shuffle.
I think he would get lost on Raw. And the big change I'd like to see is, and I've stated it before, I want to see all the women on one brand.
Yes.
Whether they're on Raw and they're given time or they're all on SmackDown, I want to see all the. That's your shakeup. If you tell me the shakeup is only one major move, but you tell me that we're moving all the women to one division and we're going to have one belt, or this way, I think if you're going to do that though, if you're going to have all the women on one, there's no reason why you can't have a women's championship and a women's intercontinental / US title. Like
you need to do that. Yeah,
you could totally see 2 belts, or even a tag team, or even not that. Do a tag team women's division. But I'd rather see a singles. I like the all single stuff, but I would love to see all the women on there and have 2 belts for them.
I agree with that. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to do it because they just created the individual titles for each brand. So that could be years down the road. But I definitely would like to see that. Because there's a lot of interesting matchups that I would like to see that would require them all being together.
I could also see the New Day moving.
I could see Big E moving.
You think so? They break him up?
I think he's the one that they're going to get behind the most once they break the group up.
I can see that.
And he's going to have a big singles push once they break.
See, I see that for Xavier though. I think Xavier's got a good potential too. But I could see them. But the way they've been playing New Day,
him and Kobe would be a good tag team. Xavier.
Yeah, that would be. But I can see them breaking up the group up. I think this is the breakup.
He's
of the
the guy because he has the size that Vince craves. You know, he likes the bigger guys.
And he did good before when he was by himself before.
Intercontinental champion.
Yeah, he was never disappointing. He was better in the New Day, but I think the New Day was out of frustration, but they didn't know what to do with him.
I think now he's found his voice. Oh yeah, and he's comfortable in his character.
That weird little character he's got, that creepy looks he's got. But
he could be a good heel if once they break that up, and I think eventually it's probably going to happen this year.
Other people I'd like to see moved, even though I could see if Dean had lost the title, I could see Dean moving.
You know who I'd like to see move is Braun Strowman.
Over to SmackDown?
Yeah. I think he'd have more potential to be a top player on that brand than he is on Raw right now.
Possibly, yeah. I could see that.
With Joe and Finn coming back and Rollins, he's going to get pushed down.
Yeah.
So I think he'd have a brighter chance to shine over on SmackDown.
And that's something else I don't want. I think Finn stays on Raw. I don't think they move him right away. Obviously, none of the guys I think that got up, just came up into their brand are going to move. But we'll see. And they haven't really given any details. So it could be just a matter of random picks and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Or, I think if you're going to do it, this is where you get fun with it. I almost think you have matches where you put 2 guys together and say, all right, this is it. This is how we're going to decide who's moving. This is your match. Whoever loses goes to the other brand. And you have like maybe 2 or 3 of those on each show. And that's how you determine who's moving. So you go into SmackDown saying, oh, these people are coming here. So now everybody's going, okay, who's going over there? I think that's more fun than just saying,
yeah, we're moving random. This guy.
Yeah, but having a match, let's say, between Sami Zayn and, Samoa Joe, for example, just picking randomly and say, okay, whoever loses this match is going to SmackDown.
Yeah.
And then you could have Baron Corbin versus whoever. And
kind of like what they used to do with the draft picks.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. So we'll see what happens with that. But we really want to get into some wild speculation.
Alrighty.
We're gonna put on our Swami hats and start rubbing our crystal balls or whatever we want to rub to pick. Do you want to go first?
Sure.
All right, go ahead. What's your first wild prediction?
I don't know how wild it is, but I think this is going to happen sooner than later, and I think that Enzo and Kaz are going to split up probably by the SummerSlam.
So who's the face and who's the heel?
Kaz is the heel.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Enzo stays the face.
Yeah. He's the comic relief, mid-card jobber. Once they split up, Kaz has a lot of potential as a heel. He's that goofy. That gimmick is getting stale to me.
I love them, but it's getting very stale.
And it's going down very quickly. And I think that they're better off being split up. They haven't won anything meaningful as a team.
Nope.
Ever.
And they've never held a tag team title anywhere.
At this point, Kaz, put him into the new group with Joe and KO.
Yeah.
Let him rub elbows with Triple H.
I can see that.
And build him up that way.
I think the way you do it, though, and this is going off of you, if you do it, I think you give them another tag team title match. And then they lose, and then Kaz just loses his mind. Like, Enzo is either bouncing around going, we're going to get you next time. And you just see Kaz in the ring going,
Tired of all the talking.
I'm done with this.
Yeah.
And just picks up Enzo and literally lawn darts him somewhere and just beats the living schnizzles out of him. And then the crowd, because it would shut the crowd up in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
It would be epic. And honestly, if you did it right, you could actually bring, if you left it on SmackDown and did it,
Yeah.
you could bring Carmella back in as his, because they're dating in Rio.
Yeah.
You could bring Carmella back into the group. And
No,
almost,
they will never do that. There's a reason they split them up.
yeah, but you could pull it off if you did it right.
I mean, it's a natural pairing.
Yeah, if you moved like Kaz to SmackDown or something like that, or
Yeah.
moved her over, you could do it because you could only have that whole play thing of oh, you think you're so tough, because you could have her play the role of, see, I told you he's holding you back.
Yeah.
Finally, you listened to me.
She actually, believe it or not, she needs to do something too.
Yeah, she needs to
To
get
get away from Ellsworth as quick as possible.
All right, so I'm going to give my first major wild prediction. I think the Hardy Boys run will, as tag team champions, will end very quickly. And I think by the time we get to at least Survivor Series, they're single wrestlers again. I don't think they're going to be as a team very long.
No.
And I think that very quickly, Matt Hardy, hopefully at that point, has the copyright to the Broken Hardy, and we see Broken Matt Hardy versus whoever's brand champion he is, because just the promos alone of him staying in the ring as Broken Matt Hardy going, I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that pretty belt you have.
That would be great. Like I said, we were talking about this on
And
the
nothing
previous
against
show.
Jeff. Nothing against Jeff.
He never got the chance to shine in his previous run like his brother did.
No, version 1.0 was actually really good. I loved Matt Hardy.
But he never ascended past the mid card.
I agree with you. Jeff did.
I think this is the time for him now to have his chance.
Yeah.
To have a good singles run at the top of the card. And I agree with you. I think it won't last long.
Yeah.
It's just a way to kind of reintroduce them back to everybody. And then
they'll lose it before SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Maybe at or right before, but I think they'll lose them before SummerSlam. And it won't be a bad breakup. It'll just be...
Yeah, they'll lose and decide to do their own thing.
Exactly.
Revival probably.
Exactly.
Steps into that role.
I could see that. Oh my God. That would be amazing.
It'd be a great match.
The Revival versus the Hardys, sort of the antithesis of the two teams.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be good because you have the ultimate flippy team
versus
the current no flippy team.
Clash of Styles. That'd be a great SummerSlam match.
But it would be a good SummerSlam match. But again, I just don't see the Hardys. They did so well, and the promotion will not be named as single wrestlers. And you're right. I mean, both of them did, and I agree that Matt Hardy deserves a run by himself in WWE.
Yes.
So, all right. So, what's your next major prediction that's true to go wrong?
Well, I already got one that's trending.
All right.
But we know about Baron Corbin. I think The Miz is going to get another opportunity to be a world champion.
Really?
Yes.
You think he's proven himself worthy? Which I agree with you completely.
Yes. I don't. It definitely would be probably the only way that happens if he stays on SmackDown.
Yeah, it won't happen on Raw.
Yeah. If he stays on SmackDown, I could see him getting another chance at the World Championship.
Like winning it or just getting a match?
Just being elevated in that discussion as a world title contender. Because right now, he still is considered a mid-carder, even though he was just fighting Cena. He hasn't had a title match in years since he lost it. I think he's earned the right to climb back to the top of the card again and to be top billing.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind him seeing him against Orton right now, because I think this whole Orton Wyatt thing has fallen flat. And I think an interesting way to revive it would be let Orton stay a face, and let Miz come out as the heel and just run with it.
Orton's not a good face.
I know he's not, but they don't seem like they want to turn him right now. But what would be interesting is the crowd would be, again, you would have the opposite reaction though.
That's what I'm saying.
Because the Miz would be out there going, oh, you're not that good, Randy. And you could almost play off it like you played off of Cena and you could have the Miz come out and go, you know what, Randy? I just ran Cena out of this company. I just proved that he was a fake. You know what? That belt looks nice. I'm going to prove that you are not as good as you think you are because I've been here longer than you have.
Yeah.
Let me prove to you that I'm the best here. I think it would be an interesting feud. And again, it's two styles that work well together. They've worked together before.
Yeah.
And with Maurice, I think it'd be fun to watch Randy and him go at it.
I love, like I said, he deserves another title opportunity. I wouldn't mind if he won it, but I don't think they'll pull the trigger on it. But he definitely, I think he'll be elevated back to the top part of the card again at some point.
All right. My next prediction that is destined to go wrong, and it's actually, I shouldn't say that. We kind of touched on it on the last show last week when we talked about Raw and SmackDown and WrestleMania of we will see Bill Goldberg wrestle at least 2 more matches before WrestleMania, if not the second match being at WrestleMania this coming year. And between now and WrestleMania next year, we will see 2 matches from Goldberg.
I can see that.
Whether one comes at like the Rumble and that would include being in the Rumble again, or him wrestling somebody else. I definitely don't think we've seen the last of Goldberg. I could see a rematch. See, this is where I get scared of SummerSlam. I could see Lesnar holding the belt until then, or even past that if they want to hold it that long, and him and Lesnar going at it again at SummerSlam.
No, that feud is done.
I don't think so.
I think Roman Reigns wins it at SummerSlam.
I hope so.
Yeah, that's.
I totally.
That's
hope so.
definitely where they're going. Because if you look at Heyman, he basically called him out Monday night.
Yeah.
So I think they planted the seeds for that. And then they bring out Strowman to kind of throw you off the scent. But I think that's where they're headed.
I hope so.
For SummerSlam.
And you know what I will say is I think lost in the shuffle of that their first match together was Roman versus Lesnar, because everybody always remembers the Seth Rollins cash-in.
Mm-hmm.
Before that cash-in, that was actually a really good match.
It was.
It was one of Roman's best. Because I remember Roman laughing at him, bloody,
getting all those suplex,
and Roman just sitting up, kind of laughing at him, like going, and you could see Lesnar getting frustrated because he couldn't keep him down.
Yeah, it was a good match.
It was a good match. So I think it's a match that gets lost. It doesn't get the credit for Roman and Lesnar it does, because everybody always remembers the epic.
And he's better now.
Oh yeah.
So I think the match would be better, even better this time around.
The only thing that would make the match, I want to see that match, but I want to see it limited to. I don't want it to become Superman Punch versus German Suplex night, because that's my fear of that match, though. That it's basically German Suplex, Superman Punch, German Suplex.
I think if he turns heel, the Superman Punch goes away.
So you're gonna have Lesnar as the face?
Oh yeah, he would be the face in that match for sure.
Well, he's gonna be the face, but they're gonna cheer for him.
They were cheering for him Monday.
True.
So I mean, Lesnar has he's another polarizing guy. He can go both. You know, he can be a face or a good heel. Remember when he came back when he's fighting Cena?
Oh yeah, people were cheering like crazy.
So like he has that ability.
All right, I can see that. I could see that. So all right, so see, thank you, Goose Island. You just, the Goose summertime just said ha. I had a little summer heat wave there for a second. Wow. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for giving me a beer that's really full of bubbles, so I burp
stuff
on the air. All right, what's your next prediction?
I'm going to predict. And I don't know anything, obviously, for sure. I think that
I'm the one who can say that because I can't pick pay-per-views.
I think you're gonna see Dolph Ziggler step away.
You think he's done? Retire?
I think he'll retire after this
Really?
year. Yeah.
After this year?
Yeah. I think this will be his last run this year with the company.
Okay, if that's truth, then he needs at least to sniff a world title and at least get a run with the U.S. or the Intercontinental.
Because you remember he was doing the comedy. He has a lot of outside interests that I know of. And, it was borderline if he was going to even resign.
Yeah.
And I think,
when's his deal up? Is it up this year? I think it might be.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I think that, if he doesn't get a push, I can see him asking for his release by the end of the year and going to do his own thing and starting life outside of WWE.
Well, building off that idea of guys that I think that may be retiring and on their way out, but will get one last grand run. I think this could be Jericho's last year because I think that he looks good, but I think he understands it's almost over.
You want to go out on top.
And I think he goes out on top. I think he goes out by winning the world title. I mean, he'll lose it before he leaves, but I could see him coming back around SummerSlam time, which is the rumor that he may come back. And him being immediately ejected into whatever world title picture they put him in, either on SmackDown or Raw, and him winning the title. And I could see him going into, honestly, if he doesn't win it by then, I could see him winning at the Rumble and winning it and then losing it at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like doing the classic, go out on your back. But I could see him going into WrestleMania as a champion, whether the WWE champion on SmackDown, because they can move him brand to brand. It doesn't really matter. or the Universal title on Raw. And I could see him getting his last run and that being sort of the end of it. And then he would be the next guy that would, if he did that, he would lose at Mania, and the following year he goes into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he won't be one of those guys that holds on until they need a hip replacement.
He doesn't need to.
Yeah, I think that he's gonna walk away while he's still healthy, and while he's on top of his game. It just seems like that's his personality.
Yeah.
That he's not gonna hang around too long.
Nope. But he needs one last run. He needs that last. I mean, obviously he's the greatest Intercontinental Champion but he deserves
One last
world title
absolutely.
run. You know, they gave it to Goldberg. They're giving it to Lesnar.
Yeah.
There's no reason you can't put it on him for a couple. I think winning it at Rumble in some way, the physical belt, and then losing it at Mania, that 3-month run would be perfect. It would give him a huge WrestleMania entrance.
Yep.
And it would be fun if he loses to either KO or Finn Balor. There you go. There's my prediction. I would like to see him stay on Raw, and next WrestleMania it's Jericho versus Finn Balor for the Universal title. That would probably be amazing.
A heel Finn Balor.
A heel Finn Balor, full Balor Club coming out as a demon.
That'd be great.
You know, he comes out as a demon, wrestles Chris Jericho. And what you do is it does two things, and I guess that's a twofold prediction.
Oh, bonus coverage.
I know, bonus coverage. But if you think about it, it would do what they like to do at WrestleMania. Sort of like they did with Roman this year with The Undertaker. If you have Finn Balor beat Jericho, you're basically crowning Finn Balor as that next guy you think is the next Jericho.
Yeah.
That guy's going to be with the company for the next 10 years, win multiple belts, and be one of your backbone performers. May not always be in the world picture, but always close to it, and be a guy you can go, all right, fine. This kid's new. Go ahead. And it would help erase the idea that Chris Jericho lost to Fandango at WrestleMania.
Oh, my God. Yeah, let's forget
that we won't talk about. But I think I would love to see, that kind of, but I want to see with the belt. I want to see him get one last run.
Yeah, I do too. So, that's one of my childhood favorites. I would love to see that.
All right. What's your next prediction?
I predict that 2 people are going to turn face before the end of the year.
Okay.
KO.
Okay. Which he kind of does facey things at times anyway.
But I think him and Joe will have a falling out.
Oh no, totally.
And he'll be the one to turn face.
That's Survivor Series right there. Yeah. Survivor Series is Joe versus KO.
Yeah. And then I had it in my head and I forgot that.
Oh, you forgot the second one.
Bray Wyatt.
You think Bray Wyatt will turn full face?
By the end of the year, he'll be a face.
He's kind of trending that way now. Even with the Randy Orton stuff, he's kind of trending that way.
I just think that he'll get over. He's over as a heel, but I think the fans want to get behind Bray.
Yeah.
And I think that eventually they're going to turn him. And I just hope that Randy turns heel, just because I don't like him as a face.
I think part of the reason the fans get behind him is they look at him, again, not saying he's on the same level, but they look at him like that Undertaker character.
Yeah.
And they like that sort of creepy character to have.
Mysterious.
Same thing, the Mankind, when he came in.
Yes.
He's supposed to be evil, but you kind of, that part of you goes, ooh, he scares me, but I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Taker worked on it. Boogeyman. Look at the Boogeyman character. I mean, he should have never gotten over, but he did because he freaked you out. And I think Bray has that potential.
He ate worms.
Yeah, he ate worms. Yeah, I could see that. I could see Bray as a face and sort of running the Wyatt family as himself.
Yeah.
And being just that creepiness.
Yeah.
So, I could do that. I could definitely see that. That'd be fun.
He needs something new. For some reason, it's not working the way his character currently is. Like I said, the man had a month title reign. It was very uneventful.
Yeah.
He as a first championship he's won in the company, and it lasted a month.
Yeah.
Never defended it once.
Nope.
And it just.
Well, no, he did have one defense on Raw, but it was a joke.
Who, Bray did?
Yeah, he had one defense, or not on SmackDown. He had defense on SmackDown. I think he did.
He fought Luke Harper. It wasn't for the title.
I thought it was for the title. Okay, I'm wrong then. See, I don't even know anything.
He fought Luke Harper.
All right,
went for the title. So it was that whole buildup was bad. It was poorly done, and I think they need to not repackage him, but he needs a little tweak to his character.
Into that,
and a face run I think will help. Push him in a different direction.
Okay.
And we'll get the AJ match that people want.
I could definitely. That would be fun. Oh God. Oh, AJ versus Bray Wyatt would be amazing.
They would. They really would.
Oh my God. So thinking of guys that we like that I feel like we're going to use, I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to pick one of the guys from 205 Live.
Okay.
That I think will hold either the U.S. or the Intercontinental titles this year. And I think it's Austin Aries. Austin Aries has the skill, this talking Mike attitude about him to be a main roster guy. He's very reminiscent of like an Eddie Guerrero or a Jericho in his attitude.
Yeah.
And I could totally see him being taken off 205, put on either brand, and winning their secondary title not too long after.
Yeah.
And having a good run with it, like having fun
He's
with
about,
it.
well, how big is he's about Finn Balor size?
Yeah,
isn't
he's
he?
about Finn Balor's side. That's what I'm saying. He's
Yeah.
not small, but
Yeah,
I could
he shouldn't
definitely
be a cruiserweight.
he didn't be, but I could definitely see he would be great as an Intercontinental Champion.
Definitely.
And he could have some fun feuds with guys like Enzo Amore,
Yeah.
or a Dolph Ziggler, or even a Bray Wyatt or anybody like that. He can have fun with that belt and
Yeah.
really enjoy himself.
Yeah.
And really, but I that's one of the guys I think will, if 205 Live continues, which there's we'll see how it goes this year. But he's one of the guys I think coming off of that, they will come off that show and be pushed
I would like
on
to
the
see
main
that.
roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he deserves
That'd
it.
be better for him.
Oh yeah,
if
totally.
he were to come off of that show.
Oh, totally. But yeah, all
because
right.
they're not truly invested in that show.
No, they're not. And I think it's gonna go away. But that's beside the point. So,
I hope not.
all right. So,
People be out of work.
where's your next prediction
I think the Shield will reunite
for one night or
as a heel group.
permanently?
Temporarily,
Like a couple months.
maybe a month or two. On Raw, I think they'll reunite. There'll be a heel group again.
So that means Dean has to move.
I think there'll be a heel group at some point.
Okay.
Roman will maybe bring them back together and once he wins the title or something like that down the road. But I can see Dean turning heel. And if they have a draft like the rumors, after the Money in the Bank, and they're all on the same show, I definitely see them reuniting.
Now, see, I could see it happening, but I could see it without a face turn. And I don't see Roman being the genesis of the group coming back together, because I can almost see the Seth Rollins Triple H thing continuing and him having to deal with KO and Joe. And somehow Dean gets moved over, and this one night he goes, all right, fine. I have found my partners. And you could do the whole thing of, like Seth Rollins in the ring, and they're like, we've got our three. It's Triple H and KO, and we're going to wrestle you.
They did that with the Evolution remake.
Yeah, but I could see them doing it again. Be like him, and Seth Rollins be like, "No, worry about it. I've got two partners. We're coming." And then the rest of the Shield coming out and them reuniting.
See, that's the reason I think they won't go that way, because they've already done that. Well, not that they've had repeated storylines before.
Let's go. Okay,
but,
yeah, exactly. Let's repeat.
But
what's going
it's
on.
so fresh in everybody's mind. Roman being the champion would be the one to bring everybody in.
Yeah.
That would be my thought process,
Yeah.
because with him now being top billing,
Good.
so now he's would actually be the guy after he wins the title, and then, like I said, it'd be a heel group.
So yeah, I could see either way, but I the way they're booking him, especially right now, I could see him, because it would be a huge pop.
Oh yeah,
If all of a sudden, if let's say Triple H and KO and Joe were in the ring, and all of a sudden you hear the
that music.
that's Seth, whatever, how the echo, da 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 da, and
Yeah.
which is basically Roman's music to begin with.
Yeah.
And they all came down from the crowd. Oh, the place would go ballistic.
Oh, they would. Yeah.
Now, see, I could see that, and you could do that at Survivor Series as a traditional, non-traditional
go.
Survivor Series. It's not 5-on-5; it's 3-on-3. But you
3-on-3.
could do that
Elimination.
as elimination match at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
And even if you did it for one, now, see, you could do that for one night too, because remember, Survivor Series is a joint.
Or isn't there a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view?
Yeah, but Survivor Series is a joint though, where you have you have both brands. So technically, you could do it with, if you don't move Dean.
Yeah.
You could have Dean with them for one night, because both brands are on there anyway. So it's one of the 4 big ones where they join. So I mean, that's the and then you could leave it as, you could do it heel or face at that point. So all right, I could see that. I could see the
They'll
show coming up.
reunite this year.
All right, so I'm gonna make my next bold prediction.
Dun, dun,
Dun, dun.
dun.
Actually, before that, I want to say again to Goose Island for your Goose Summertime. It's really good. I've already finished
It was
mine.
really good
It's
with my
really,
mango.
Yes, your mango spicy from Trader Joe's.
Yes,
You're
great,
welcome.
Great stuff. I'm hooked.
I'm sure Mrs. JB will enjoy it when she gets home.
She won't even know.
She won't even know it's there. All right.
She won't even know.
And
It's all mine.
Until you're laying in bed and she goes, why does it smell spicy in here? Shut up. All right. So, all right. My next prediction involves Finn Balor.
Okay.
Finn Balor will win the world championship before SummerSlam.
Before
SummerSlam.
So he's beating Brock, huh?
I think so. This is why. I know you want it to be Roman.
I don't necessarily want it. I just think that's what they're trying to tell you they're going.
I think they're going to swerve people. Because this is why. Because I could see this becomes the Booker in me and the dream match idea in me. You tell me the poster of the Demon versus the Beast for the Universal title.
Clearly the fans want it. You heard what they were chanting Monday night.
Exactly. But I'm saying is, but the production alone of them saying the Beast versus the Demon, and you could have it where Finn could play with him and do little games with him, and he could actually wrestle Brock before as just Finn Balor and almost lose, and then Finn Balor brings out the Demon. You know what I mean? But I would love to see the Demon versus the Beast. And if you did it right, because supposedly the rumor is that Lesnar's deal ends around SummerSlam. Again, it allows Finn Balor, if you don't have, I talked about him being Jericho.
He had a 3-year deal.
No, I think he's almost done. I thought he was almost done.
I could have sworn he signed a 3-year deal, but yeah.
But or he wants out, again. But I would love to see, again, handing over the reins of, Finn Balor beating Brock Lesnar would be huge.
Oh yeah,
and it would be a fun match because again, it would be a smaller guy taking on a monster, and not that Finn's a smaller guy, but he would have to bounce around and run. He couldn't go fist for fist. But
he's small compared to most.
Yeah, but he's especially against the Lesnar,
like 200 pounds.
But I would love to see Finn Balor, the Demon versus the Beast, in an all-out warfare.
That would be a good match.
Yeah,
so be a great match.
It would be an amazing match.
It would. There's a lot of, like I said, there's as good JR would say, there's a good business picking up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good talent.
We'll do a couple more of these before we go. Give me one more.
I think Braun Strowman's going to be a champion this year.
Just not a
world champion.
You think a world champion, not one of the secondary?
If my first pick doesn't come to fruition with Baron Corbin, I think Braun will be the one of the next guys in line.
I don't see him as a world champion this year. I could see him winning the Intercontinental of the U.S. because they put the Intercontinental on Luke Harper.
I mean, I could see Braun Strowman winning a Money in the Bank match and cashing that shit in like the next night.
I could see him cashing in that night.
Yeah, like seriously. Like I can see them building him up that strong.
I could see that.
Like he wins the Money in the Bank. And like, people that win the Money in the Bank, Jack Swagger won it. Alberto Del Rio won it. You know what I mean? So like
Punk won it twice.
You can win the championship and then lose it a month later.
Oh yeah.
And it's not going to kill your career.
Well, and it's no longer a guarantee because it's a probability, but honestly, we've had two people lose. Damien Sandow and Cena both lost their Money in the Bank matches.
Yeah.
So, it's not like it used to be where it was 100% you're winning the belt. So they have planted that idea in your head that it's possible. It's improbable, but it's completely possible.
I could see one of them winning with the world title this year.
I could see that.
Strowman, he has potential. I didn't like him at first, but he's growing on me.
He's another guy that I think does decent promos. He's grown on me in the ring. I just feel like he needs something. Like I can't put my finger. Like if you were telling me what you need to change in him to make him the next level, I can't tell you. But I just feel like there's something missing there, and maybe it's
a mouthpiece.
Maybe a mouthpiece, or maybe it's a slight tweak to his character. Maybe less hillbilly looking.
Yeah, that may.
I think that's part of it. I think he still has that Wyatt family look.
Huge. Like when him and Lesnar were squaring off.
Oh, it's just a monster.
The crowd was like, like this Joker could get Lesnar.
Yeah. I could totally see him going after Lesnar.
So you like the tension he created in that moment. It made me feel like he belonged in there with him. You know what I mean? So like I feel like he could be a champion at some point this year.
I'm gonna go for a women's prediction.
Usually I'm the women guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go win. I am predicting that by the end of the year, Nia Jax will at least have the belt for at least a month. Now, the way they hot potato around, it could be that short. But I think they give Nia a shot at it. The women's division is such, I don't want to say in flux, but they do like to move the belt around.
Yes, they do.
And I could see her turning face and winning the belt.
I'm trying to figure out, like after Monday, we were talking about her and Charlotte.
Yeah.
If she's going to be the one to turn face or not. But
I think I could see Nia turning face.
Yeah.
And I could see her winning the belt. And I could see her winning the belt against the heel Sasha Banks. because they've already set up that whole thing where she's beaten Sasha before. So I could see Sasha turning on Bayley, Sasha winning the belt, having a little run with Bayley, and then Nia turning around and going, "Didn't I beat you a couple times? That would look nicer on my waist." And then you have this run and Nia wins it.
I can see that.
You know?
They could do with her where they missed the boat with Karma. Because
totally.
When Karma was there, she was probably the most over women's wrestler on that roster at the time.
What helped with her is she got the push from the promotion will not be named, because when she came in, it was a huge deal. I remember when she was Awesome Kong, I loved her. She was awesome. So when she showed up on Raw, that was insane.
But like just the way they booked her music fit, the character fit. She wasn't a traditional diva.
Nope.
And the fans were like into her. And then she showed up at the Royal Rumble like a year later, you know, and it was like, that's what they can make Nia, like the unstoppable monster.
Yeah.
If they book her right, she definitely would be, she could either be a fan favorite or a great.
And like at WrestleMania, it basically took all three of the women to take her down.
And that was good booking because it made her look strong.
Yeah, it made her look strong. And I think that's definitely potential. So, but I think by the end of the year, she has definitely held the women's title. And honestly, I'll say, you talk about a draft, I see her going over to SmackDown and winning it.
That would be the best place for her.
Yeah, I think she goes over to SmackDown and she wins it over there.
That would be the best place for her.
Yeah, I think she would fit better over there, because then you have sort of, I don't want to say technical people all on Raw, but I think she's a better
It's top heavy.
Yeah, I think she's better over on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And she has better feuds, because you could have some interesting matches with her and Alexa, and so sort of the small girl. Irish's favorite.
Serial killer.
Becky. But again, you have the Becky, the plucky, I'm going to get you. It would be interesting.
Naomi would be
would be good with her. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely potential there. Even Mickie James and all that. I mean, you definitely have some potential there for some good feuds with her on SmackDown compared to on Raw. I just don't see it as intriguing.
Because she's never going to be pushed over Bayley, Sasha, and Charlotte.
And exactly. That's the three.
Yeah. So as long as they're on the same brand, she's always going to be the fourth.
Yeah. So
the fourth one out.
All right. One more for each of us, and then we're done. Give us one grand prediction. Rub your crystal ball and give me one good squeeze.
One grand prediction.
One grand pearl of wisdom from JB. And it's not Baron Corbin. You've already used that one 30 times.
I tell you what, you go first. Let me marinate on this one.
Okay, the fact that I just told you to rub your crystal ball and give me a pearl of wisdom, and you tell me that
I got nothing.
Go ahead and let me marinate over this. Really sounds weird. No, I got one more.
I'll rub the ball over here. And,
all right, so I got one more.
Figure out the last one here.
My grand prediction for the year is that that was not Undertaker's last match.
Oh, it definitely is.
I don't think so. I really don't think so.
If you have a hip replacement, you can't take a bump.
I don't think so.
No, he's done.
You think so?
Yeah.
100%.
With a hip replacement, you can't take a bump.
I will see.
There's no way he's coming back.
Is he officially going for hip replacement?
Yeah.
When?
Soon. He's needed it for years, they said.
I know.
Yeah, if he gets it, there's no way he can wrestle again.
We'll see. But I really do. I think he has one last shot in him.
Ooh.
One last shot.
I don't know how he would do it.
I think WrestleMania next year is his last run. But that's just my opinion.
That's interesting.
And I'm not the only one who said that they think that this was, because the way they ended it was great and it was a curtain call, but I think you almost have somebody talk him back in for one last shot.
Yeah.
And that's the Cena shot. Him and Cena, one last run. But that's just my prediction.
Yeah.
I could see it. And honestly, it could also be, I'll tell you this one, it could be the end of two careers. Because I know Cena's not destined long either. I know he's moving on. You tell me, if you didn't tell me that you have not a career versus career match, but you literally say, this is Cena and Undertaker's last WrestleMania match. That in itself would sell WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
If you said it was both of their last matches, winner take all, who's the greatest? It's the icon versus the golden boy kind of thing. Winner take all, who wins it all?
Yeah.
So that's my prediction.
I got one, actually.
All right, one last one. Go ahead.
I think they're going to put a match together that's going to intrigue HBK enough to come out of retirement.
Okay.
They tried to talk him into AJ Styles this year. For whatever reason, he didn't want to do it. But I think once he gets involved with the Performance Center down here,
Yeah.
and I'm sure he'll be doing some training, I think he'll have one last match.
But who are you going to put him against?
He can go with anybody.
I understand you can go with anybody, but you want to make sense. So, I mean, you know,
I'd have to see how it shakes out. I would love to have seen him fight AJ this year. I'm trying to think who I would like to see him go against.
I would, you know,
there's a lot of possibilities. I don't like off the top. I'm not really like Seth Rollins. Maybe he comes to Triple H's aid. Maybe they set something up with that. There's different ways that they can go. I don't think like he's gonna just walk away without having one more, because I think he's still got enough left in him where he can do one more. It'd have to be a Rock situation where it'd have to be like a larger than life type of setting and
that's what
event.
I'm trying to think of who it'd have to be WrestleMania.
Right. It definitely would be WrestleMania. I'm not sure who it would be against though, but I think he's like, I think he's got one more in him.
I could
somewhere.
see if you're going to put him against something. It doesn't have to be epic.
Although it's weird because he's retired.
Well, he was retired by Taker.
Yeah, so
I mean,
that's
it's not.
That's
it's
weird.
It's sort of like the Ric Flair situation.
Yeah, that's a weird dynamic
him.
there. But
now
they're willing to talk to him to come out of retirement this year. Might have to figure something
trying to think
out.
who would I want to see him in the ring with. It's that.
That's more for selfish reasons. Than
yeah.
anything.
How do you could do Joe. You could have some weird turn with him
because he talks really highly of a lot of these guys that he said he would like
Seth
to work
Rollins.
with. That's what I say, like him coming to Triple H's aid at some point.
Like I see Seth Rollins or a Joe or a KO.
Seth Rollins would probably be the best.
Yeah,
the best style matchup.
AJ versus him would be really
awesome
good. I'm trying to think who else on the roster that would match up really well with him that I would want to see. That's the question of who I'd want to see.
To be honest with you, I think Jericho was his best feud ever.
Jericho would be a good one.
I think all the feuds he had,
yeah,
that Jericho feud was probably the best one he's ever had.
Yeah, that was really good. I don't know. It's an interesting. I mean, again, it's a wild. But my last one was wild, and your last one was wild. So it kind of fits that we're both kind of throwing ones out there. That's why I said my Undertaker one for last, because it's the one I have least confidence in. But
yeah, clearly I don't think he will, because he's had every opportunity to come back.
Yeah, and he's turned it
down. But I think all these guys, like, man, I wish I could work with these guys.
Okay, what about this one? What if he didn't come back to the main roster? What if he had a takeover match at NXT? What if he took on somebody like Bobby Roode or somebody like that? Like they set up an angle where
with him being the trainer,
the trainer, and either it's one of the guys now or somebody down the road gets under his skin, and it's not at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It's at TakeOver, which would sell TakeOver through the roof and more people would watch it. I could see more something like that.
Or like a network special.
Or a network special where, but I could see, and not getting against him at WrestleMania, but if you're going to use it to that effect, and you're talking about the Performance Center, him in an NXT match would just
make sense.
It would make huge sense.
Yeah.
You just have to find the proper foil. Right now on the roster, well, Shinsuke's gone, so I could see Bobby Roode. Eric Young wouldn't be bad. I mean, he's a small guy, but it would be an interesting little combination because you could have Sanity kind of go nuts and him trying to stop it. I'm trying to think who else would be good on the, and they're bringing new guys in all the time, so it could be somebody you don't even know that's even there right now. But I would see it more as an NXT match, and
possibly
it would add even more gravity to NXT.
Yeah.
Than we already have. And they've done stuff like that before. They had Deuce and Thunder Liger on there. They've had guys come in for one-offs.
Mickey James on
NXT. So him on an NXT match where it's that sort of, or you could definitely do a trainer versus a trainee thing where he's like, you know what, I'm going to teach you, boy.
Yeah.
And it would also be, the other thing you have to do in NXT is you could put him in a tag match and get away with it more you could on the main roster.
Yeah.
Because you could have him against two guys that are kind of giving him a crap against one of the guys he's helping.
Yeah.
And you could hide more of him in a tag. Whereas if you did on the main roster, everybody goes, we don't need him in a tag team match. But in NXT, it would make sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, I think for selfish reasons, I want to see him fight one more time.
Oh, I
and there's a
agree.
lot of talent on the rosters.
Oh yeah.
That he would match up really well with.
So, well, those are our predictions. I would like to thank Goose Island. Thank you, Brian, for your Goose Summertime.
Yes, sir.
I enjoyed it a lot. When you're ready to put your beer down,
Beer. Don't you know HBK is never coming back?
make sure you put it down on a vintage pressing coaster, vintagepressing.com, where you can get drink coasters, luggage tags, phone cases, mouse pads, and more. You can also go over to beersandbodyslams.com. If I knew my own website, I'd be a lot better off for us, where you can see our other sponsors, support them so they support us. You can follow us on Facebook at Beers and Body Slams Podcast. And you can also follow us on Twitter at Beers Body Slams, because Jericho won my and walked away with it. Bye. Bye. It's on the list. It's gone. It's gone.
It is on the list. Ladies and gentlemen, follow us on Untapped. You can follow us, see what we're drinking. As I'm 30 away from the century mark, you can follow me at GoodOLJB.
You can follow me at Mr. Fluffy as I roar towards apparently now 600, because I've crossed the 500 barrier.
I'm going to break the app.
Now, actually, do you know what the high... Actually, no. That's the thing is...
Do they keep totals?
Oh, they keep totals. Hold on. Let me go into the app. Because those who don't Untap, follow us on Untap. It's a fun little app. But
and you can follow Irish
There
at
we
the
go.
Irish O'Leary.
But I was going to tell you, if you go into badges, 500 is not the highest badge for getting a stat. I think it's like 10,000 or something like that. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, like there's, and I'm assuming that means there are people that have made that list, but it's kind of nuts that you can get that high. Here it is. Yeah, I am a legendary stats at 500. Extraordinary is 1,000. Elite is 2,500.
Wow.
Epic is 5,000, and the highest level is Uber at 10,000.
10,000.
So I think at 10,000 is a lie, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's
anybody's
no way.
There's no way you're getting 10,000. You'd be dead.
Yeah, clearly.
The app hasn't been around that long, so I'm not sure if anybody's ever gotten that high.
That's just an aspiration.
Yeah, so that's somebody who works at a brewery or a
Like
bar
a Wilt Chamberlain record.
who just checks into every beer that walks in and just keeps running through them. So, but tell us what you think. And if you listen to us on iTunes, or if you don't listen to us on iTunes, go to iTunes and give us a review. Tell us what you think of the show.
Please.
Tell other people about the show. We really appreciate it. Every week our numbers are going up, so we're really excited. We're glad you guys are listening. We appreciate it so much.
Yes, we really do.
We do.
Any feedback is good feedback.
Irish should be back next week from his adventures in New Orleans.
Yes.
I
was on a nude beach in Miami somewhere. He's in New Orleans?
In New Orleans, yeah, he's
Oh,
somewhere.
okay.
Yeah, he's somewhere in New Orleans right now. He's been swallowed by Bourbon Street. Who knows? But keep following us on Untap, especially because I checked out a couple new breweries this week. So there's some fun stuff going on here in Orlando. So you can follow us when we're here. So
Always an adventure.
all right. So as always, keep your pint glasses full and your body slam stiff.
Damn you, John Cena.
You've been listening to the Beers and Body Slams podcast. Find us online at beersandbodyslams.com and on Facebook at facebook.com/Beers and Body Slams podcast. Until next time.
Have a nice day.